Anyway, the question is, in the next episode, with the challenges I'm given, will it be capable for me to finally get through an entire episode with no challenges having been failed, with no Skylanders switching out for Roulette?
No.
Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire. As Quigley apparently believes that Bash was a boulder at first. But all that being said, this is the first Friday of August we're in now, when this goes live. So naturally, you know what that means. It's time for another episode of the Skylanders Spyro's Adventure Roulette, as we gather up a third Winged Sapphire, and we speak with Persephone about some upgrades. We get a tennis tail, which allows us to reflect projectiles. Fan-friggin-tastic! Wow, that was quite the animation right there. Bash, he's feeling victorious. You can tell from his tail and the excitement he has in swinging it round and round. No, my beautiful gem! What you say? Is lost to the infinitiness of sky in the Skylands, which, you know, is literally an infinite sea of floating islands in the sky, hence the whole sky lands and all that. They're lands in the sky. I don't think they could be any more on the nose with that kind of name. But without further ado, let's be heading out for Treetop Terrace, as we have the 2 life levels to be tackling in the 4th episode of Skylanders Spyro's Adventure Roulette for the first Friday of August. As you can tell, I have a different attire. We have the Avengers Infinity War shirt put upon my chest. Hell to the yeah! What was also held to the yeah is Treetop Terrace, and how this was the level I was most anticipating on my first ever run through of the game. And I will tell you why. Obviously, when you're playing as Skylanders and you can see in the upgrade chambers like what level their soul gem appears in. Well, obviously we're looking through Gilgrunt's upgrade chamber and we can see that his soul gem is available in Treetop Terrace. So obviously I get to this level and I get so pumped up because I'm like, oh my god, yes, I can finally get Gilgrunt's soul gem here, because obviously he was one of the starter pack Skylanders. I wanted to get that final ability of his. An ability which you could only get with said soul gem. So finally getting to this level and being able to find that soul gem, for me, it was so exciting. It was a blast. And then when I finally got to that magic zone and acquired said soul gem, I was filled with such raw joy. Is the bestest, most way of putting it, the most accurate way of putting it too, because yes, I was very joyous on that occasion, very joyous indeed. And here we go with the Corn Hornet. What a name! Legendary name if you were to ask me. Oh, cutscenes in your hand. Not so legendary, and it's funny how I'm mentioning all this legendariness right now, because Bash has a legendary counterpart. Anyway, air is having just arisen, so Baby Groot once again needs to avoid all damage in this area, like he did in the Crystal Eye Castle. It would seem as though Baby Groot can't avoid the air elemental segments. Try as he might, they are inevitable.
I am inevitable.
Oh no!
Fook me, that was fast.
Those Blade Witches are so bloody annoying! Once again, it would seem as though the character replacing Baby Groot is none other than an Earth Skylander. So we now have 2 magic and 2 Earth Skylanders in the roulette, and yet the random name picker still refuses to pick an Undead Skylander. We have a bias going on here. But that being said, Terrafin, actually, right after I pop on my headset, which I completely forgot to do, but now that that's all sorted, we can place him onto a portal and bring him to life via magic. Our toy is coming to life and he's having to take damage immediately. Yeah, we'll give ourselves those first few frames of invincibility from a challenge, as I said I would all the way back in the very first episode. Got to watch out for returning blade though. Let it be stated right now that if I get hit immediately after placing Skylander portal power, because of the lack of invincibility frames in this game, that would be a bullshit end to the challenge. So I'm going to allow myself a couple of frames directly after the Skylanders placing the portal where they are immune from all challenges, just to even things out a little bit. Because yeah, that was fair. How was I supposed to dodge damage taken there? Like that right there, that was a dodge. If I got hit by the Joe dude, I would have counted it, but I didn't. Which is why almost being hit does not count as actually being hit now, does it? That's just my glorious skill coming through. Now, Terraform is a rather interesting choice for Roulette, not only because it makes us double up on elements again, but also because of the fact that he might be a classic, iconic Scar, the one that has returned for many, many games, and a huge fan favourite of that, but I never really considered myself part of a Terraform hype train. I just found the character okay at best. Never really a fan to the same extent as everybody else seems to be. Dare I even say I find Terraform overrated, and that is yet again another pretty big hot take. I'm just for guru of controversy these last 2 episodes, I suppose. Now, wherever you find controversy, I am the centre of it here at the Hot Takes channel. After all, I'm Igknight with fire, and fire is hot, so hot takes and all that, the two kind of coincide, don't you know? By some miracle, still not taking a single hit yet, despite obviously the one I took right as I spawned in. But like I said in the very first episode, I'll give myself those first few frames to recover and avoid the challenges from becoming impossible, because basically I would just keep placing Skylanders ball and they would keep failing the challenge like immediately, just due to the fact that they cannot maneuver immediately after having been placed, and from there obviously they can't be successful at challenges involving ones where they can't get hit if they have no chance to dodge for set attacks that are coming to hit them. Anyway, right now all I need to concern myself with is not eating any food. Easier said than done, apparently. Oh, I'm down the tornado path. No wonder why I'm not summoning any rocks right now with my flight ability. You've got to be careful though. I feel like there's some food over there. Oh yes, there is. There's a pretzel. Avoid the pretzel at all costs. Oh, and here we are for Hollow. Interesting enough. I find it really cool how the teleport pads have kind of like that aura oozing upwards from them. It's very rather interesting indeed. What's also going to be very interesting is how much annihilation this guy's about to go through. Just die, you're being very inconvenient, man. Oh, that's more like it. And what do you know, I think I just got through that life segment without even getting hit. I cannot get hit for freaking life segments where it doesn't matter, but in the air sections I'm getting hit all the time. That's just my typical luck now, isn't it? Also doesn't help that Sub Smash isn't most ideal for taking hits. In fact, he's a character designed to tank hits, hence his very, very high health bar and all that. So here we go with Drill Sergeant, who cannot be taking a single hit as love hearts remain on the screen for some reason. Yes, I can see that. Not that we're going to be swapping out no magic Skylanders. And we definitely got to the point where if I take a hit now, we're past the whole like invincibility period. So the plan is to continue to not get hit. I like that plan. Pretty strong plan right there, if you were to ask me. Oh wow, that Blade Witch almost hit me from all the way over there. Now that would have been Sniper of the Century. Speaking of Snipers of the Century, did I get him? Did I get him? No. I'm about to, though. Just die. Thank you. Oh no! The Blade returned for its revenge!
My disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined.
Okay, so it would appear that the character replacing Drill Sergeant is actually going to prove the bias of a random name picker, as it's picked yet another Magic Skylander. So all of the Magic Skylanders, with the exception of Wrecking Ball, hallelujah! But that being said, all of the Magic Skylanders except Wrecking Ball have been chosen for Roulette, and they're all kind of congregated together at the top of that there roulette wheel. But regardless, the random name picker is fine with picking Magic Skylanders over and over again, and yet it still is yet to have chosen an undead Skylander for us to put into the roulette. Wow, that random name picker seriously despises undead Skylanders, and I can't fathom why. Undead Skylanders are fantastic. Anyway, before I took Drill Sergeant off the portal, I unfortunately waited a couple of frames so for enemies to maneuver around a bit, and I feel like Drill Sergeant might have accidentally attacked one of them, because when I went to go and take him off the portal, I hit an attack button. So that does give us one advantage in that the enemies will be defeated much more quickly, and that will give them less of an opportunity to attack us and deal damage. I hope that will happen anyway, because the air challenge just became more trouble than it's worth. Like, editing around all of this is such a pain, and it's so depressing too. It's literally the only challenge that I'm failing to, besides my accidental attempts of the life challenge and the water challenge. Yeah, those were some really depressing moments, but not nearly as depressing as losing multiple characters in the same level because of my arrogance in thinking that the one-hit challenge was a good idea. Yeah, let me clue you in, it wasn't a good idea. In fact, it was it would dare even be, as Iron Man once put it.
Not a great plan.
But now, we're going to move on from these edits, as we only have the last portion of this air segment to worry about, where I still can't take any damage from these spikes, by the way. So I gotta approach this with caution right now, because the spikes can also hit you on the way down. One hit challenge, aka meaning that I take one hit and I fail, so avoiding such things would be wise, you'd imagine. So we're gonna play this safe. Better safe than sorry. Fuck, I got stuck on that. Wait for it, and we wait for it, there you go. Move it! Thank God this isn't a life challenge right now, because that food was practically impossible to avoid. Okay, cool, we're going to get that. We're going to be patient with these spikes before we get hit. Luckily, my patience seems to have paid off. Thank the Lord for that. Now we've got to be very careful with all these blades. Man, I hate the fact that they also shield themselves. It's so bloody annoying. Die! Die! You're not dead yet. That's very disappointing. Okay, watch out for the blade, and watch out for it on the return as well, because that's what killed off the drill sergeant, or at least made him fail this challenge, mind you. Go on then! Oh, that was foolish. Oh, and watch out for the blade too. I almost walked right into it there, but luckily for me, almost doesn't count now, does it? But yeah, if this air challenge is definitely a lot more trouble than it's worth. To say the absolute least, I charged away before those guys could hit me. Yay me for playing it safe rather than sorry. We even have a treasure chest back here, which is convenient because Spyro isn't maxed out on gold. One thing I did not know. I also did not know that this particular Spyro was down the Horns path. Yet here we are with a hell of a charging bulldozer, even though Spyro isn't a fucking bulldozer, but here I am calling him such things anyway.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Oh no! What did I do that for? Man, I am a fucking idiot. There's no other way of putting it. Let's get Spyro out of here.
You fool! Idiot! Moron! Stupid!
So replacing Spyro is a Skylander with wings, but she's not quite a dragon. However, she is the same element as Tornado, so now we've doubled up on literally every single element within the Roulette. Man, I cannot speak today. And speaking of things that cannot be done, it would appear as though the random name picker has once again shown its bias, as it refused to pick an undead Skylander. There's 4 of them! And not a single one does the random name picker seem to like. Anyway, when I play Sonic Boom onto Portals this time, my plan is not to just stand there and tank the hit. That was a rather stupid plan in the first place, so why I did that with Spyro, I don't know. So let's play Sonic Boom onto Portal without further ado, and we're going to spam her babies, hoping that they can defeat enemies from afar, because if they're far away from us, they can't be attacking us and dealing damage now, can they? Get him, baby, get him! No, it killed my baby! Luckily, Sonic Boom's health bar is as good as always, so that's not going to count as taking a hit point of damage. That also would be rubbish if it was, and I want some sort of fairness here. Is that too much to ask for? Who am I kidding? In a challenge as cheap as this one, of course it is. Like, what was I fucking thinking coming up with a challenge of this sheer amount of difficulty? Luckily, I managed to distract the witch long enough for my babies to come in clutch. Now this is the strategy we were looking for with the air element here. I even get the buff from being an air elemental Skylander. Wow, Sonic Boom has the sweet, sweet range, baby. And that we'd love to see. We also love to see Annihilation from this guy right now. See ya! Wouldn't want to be ya! Where was this character my whole life? Let's say, yeah, that plan definitely worked out, and Baby's taking 1 point of damage. Sure, if they're getting hit, and that's kind of against the one-hit challenge and all that, the fact that I take 1 hit and the challenge is over. But I mean for Skylander, and that hit has to deal with damage, and Sonic Boom took no damage. I probably said so otherwise in different episodes. What matters is what I'm saying here and now, as I swap out for Double Trouble, where I cannot eat any food, so I just gotta make sure I don't get into desperate measures. Cannot be healing in the area where life is active, which is the most ironic kind of them all. It's a shame that we lost like 3 Skylanders and 3 challenges to this one fucking level because some idiot decided it was a good idea to do 1-hit challenge. That idiot is me. I hate the fact that these guys can heal, but I'm not allowed. Or at least I'm not allowed to via food, and that's made all the more harder by the fact that food is everywhere right now. The game is literally trying to shove this down my throat. So uncool game. I don't want your stupid cheese, as much as delicious it is. Anyway, that's some chicken right now. But we're not going to be eating it. First of all, it's cruel. Like, that chicken deserved a better life. And second of all, that goes against our life challenge right here. We are here to preserve life by not eating our Skylanders, by not eating food that came from life. Like, all food has to come from life, whether it's from plants, which definitely had life before they were chopped up and eaten. Yeah, plants still have nerves in which they feel pain, so surely eating a plant is just as cruel as eating an animal. It's not really. Wow, I really am getting into the hot topics right now, aren't I? Controversial for the sake of it, because why the heck not, right? Controversy gets the views. I'm sorry to say, but that's the kind of world we live in. We live in a world where we love, wait, I didn't accidentally eat food earlier, did I? But we live in a world where we love critiquing others. It kind of gives us a little, kick in life to see flaws in other people that make us feel better about ourselves. I'm heading back to make sure the chicken's still there. Oh, I didn't accidentally eat chicken, so how did I heal up then? Was it from a level up along the way? Man, I have not been paying much attention to the gameplay, which is the opposite of what I should be doing. Because you'd think to consciously not eat food would require some ounce of concentration. You'd think so anyway. But yeah, I've had some rather interesting commentary this episode, as well as some very interesting rule reinforcement. Rule reinforcement? What rule reinforcement? Reinforcement? Wow, I cannot speak. Blah blah blah. But they are Draculas, so they don't go blah blah blah.
I don't say blah blah blah.
Hotel Transylvania for the win. Whilst the sequels are hot garbage and I hate them all, the first one is at least decent. It has that going for it. Way more rude stuff for me to speak over, including Arbo, son of Larbo, spawn of... Well, you don't have to answer that, which is a shame. You see, they cut us short. Why was gonna hear some more background lore for games like, haha, nope. The writers clearly couldn't write another rhyme for Arbo, so they just kind of gave up, and they can be like, you know what, we're gonna interrupt this guy so we don't have to come up with another rhyme. Genius way to write yourself out of the corner, I'm telling you. It's like with Marvel, they've learned that they can't write good villains after Thanos, so rather than give us new villains for Doctor Strange 2, they decided to turn Wanda into a bad guy, which, like everyone else, I hated. Such a terrible, like, character choice. Like, sure, it was definitely the direction her character was headed, and I definitely dreaded that kind of characterization as what was alluded to by WandaVision. But come on, man, justifying her actions because of the Darkhold, and how, you know, that's kind of corrupting her mind and all that. Though how powerful they made her was ridiculous, and it was so fucking insane watching her just absolutely annihilate the Illuminati. They got memed. Reed Richards kind of forgot that he was the smartest man alive now, didn't he? Spoilers much. But that being said, I just wasn't a big fan of Doctor Strange 2 in general. Like, the second act was clearly rewritten to have a lot of reveals and cameos to get the audience cheering and excited for the future of the MCU, so it feels like out of place and really puts a drag on the pacing, despite the fact that the action sequences in that universe are fucking insane, given the sheer power of Wanda. But I just would have preferred, like, an insanely powerful, over-the-top villain. But they didn't give us a new villain, because that would require a new actor to play. That would require original writing, and they would have to give this new villain, like, motivations, flaws, charisma. You know, that's just too much to ask for. Why do that when you have a pre-established character that you can just draw upon? Point is, the film is lame. So lame. And I expected more. In fact, after I left Doctor Strange 2, I had only one thing on my mind. Anyway, looks like we're back with Arbo and the teeth machines. Oh dear, that's big, oh dear. Oh yeah? Well, Tech is stronger here, which means we get to swap back on over to Voodoo right now. And Tech means no projectiles are allowed. This character doesn't exactly have what you'd call projectiles, but we're not going to use his zipline ability just because it launches far extended away from you. So, you know, the fact that you can hit enemies from afar kind of makes it somewhat a projectile area, even if, you know, it has to physically land to deal damage. Then again, all projectiles kind of need to do that, and then afterwards you do zip like one line to the enemy to get up close and personal with them. So it's kind of like a move that is a projectile to engage you straight back into hand-to-hand combat with your meleeness. So in other words, to avoid the grey area, we're going to avoid that attack altogether. And just stick with the tripwires and stuff. Like that! Boom! Tripwire for the win, baby. And that's what we have combos for. Because as I always say, better safe than sorry. And the safest thing to be right now, and to not be sorry, is to just not use the secondary attack whatsoever. As that is, like I said, a grey area. It's hard to classify as whether it is projectile or not. You guys could definitely make the argument either way. So that's why we're not using it regardless. Keeping to my challenges, so long as there are no air challenges, which luckily for me I don't need to worry about air popping up again until I want to say chapter 17. No, chapter 17 is water, not air. The next air section is, let's kill these guys first, and then I believe the next air section is Quicksilver Vault actually, so thank goodness for that, because air has by far been the biggest pain in my ass throughout the entirety of this series thus far. We bounce on over that, and we land on nothing. Sweet, that's no damage for me, and I love to see it. Anyway, the question is, in the next episode, with the challenges I'm given, will it be capable for me to finally get through an entire episode with no challenges having been failed, with no Skylanders switching out for Roulette?
No.
I'm sure in the next episode, we will find out. For now, though, we're going to continue concerning ourselves with a level at hand where Voodoo needs some treasure. So we grabbed him the legendary treasure already, but that's not nearly enough treasure. We're going to acquire ourselves a chest full of treasure also. Yeah, baby! Oh, that's all looking all good now, isn't it? I'm loving me this treasure from the chest of treasure. Oh, to the hell yeah! Okay, up we pop. Apparently not. The game got rather finicky right now, but we're going to continue on and destroy some fools. These guys think they have defense. They have nothing in the face of Voodoo. Nothing, I tell you. Boom. Come close, would ya? Oh, they did, the fool. Boom, finish him off with the sweet, sweet combo. I'm going to do the same with this guy. Hell to the air. Man, Voodoo just makes these challenges easy. I shouldn't say that because knowing my luck, I'll come across an air section where I can't take any damage. Even though if this was an air section right now, I'd be pretty successful given I've taken no damage thus far. But still, I should shut up before I wind up jinxing myself. I should shut up whilst I'm ahead. Not that I was ever ahead to begin with, because I did kind of lose like 3 stars on the previous level due to challenge failures. Luckily, we're not in the live section yet, so even that food doesn't matter. Oh, but speaking of live sections, we now got to go through for the rest of this level with Bash, who is not particularly high leveled or upgraded now, is he? Like, level 4 is fine, but the lack of upgrades is going to make the boss fight at the end particularly tough. Die! Oh, these guys, they're just so dead, they obeyed my every wish. Okay, up we pop, this time with a little less failure, which is exactly what we love to see. We've got to be careful of that watermelon back there, though, before I accidentally eat it out of habit and fail this challenge as a result. That's the opposite of what we want. So here we are with yet another chest. I was going to say something there, but then I realised that what I was about to say was stupid, so I didn't actually finish saying what it was I was going to say. In other words, I thought before I spoke. A very rare occurrence, but trust me, it happens from time to time. Okay, watch out for the watermelon. Let's not accidentally run into that. We'll pop up here. There too, what do you know?
You must find rockets to destroy the big...
Yeah, no shit, Eon. What's also no shit is the fact that my nose is very itchy right now. If it wasn't itchy, I wouldn't be itching it now, would I? Duh! Anyway, let's pop on up. And pop on up again. Fantastic. Now, I believe the only thing back here is treasure, but we're going to approach it carefully in case there was any food. There wasn't any food and it was just treasure, like my hunch would suggest, but, you know, as always, better to be safe than sorry. And luckily for us, for the actual boss fight itself, as you can tell, no element of the area is active, which means no challenge is active, so therefore, Bash just needs to tackle this and survive. We don't need to worry about not eating the food that the life minions leave behind. It's the same exact ordeal as the water boss battle even that we went against Chaos with all of his minions and his water spells. To which that was completed with Drill Sergeant, a character who is unfortunately no longer with us. Well, then again, I'm sure you know that, given that the failure did just occur mere minutes ago in the previous level. But we still have 3 characters from the first episode left. We still have Double Trouble, Bash, and Warnado. They've made it so far, and I'm hoping they continue to make it far. I want at least one Skylander that was put in Roulette in the very first episode to stay there until the end. That is the hope. The hope was also to go through without any challenge failures whatsoever, but clearly that counter would prove that that's an impossibility for me to accomplish. Anyway, here we go with the Zook. Really, bro? Really? That was rude. Dude, you... Oh my god, Bash! Okay, now I've got to actually be careful because, man, that was some absolute annihilation I just suffered. Die! Why won't you die? Oh, never mind, he's dead. And thank goodness too, not a moment too soon. Man, I needed that. I mean, I've already forgot about it. Who was it we faced again? Yeah, some lame Skylander, an evil version of him who's even more lame than lame Skylander. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's a shame Camo isn't in this actually, given that Camo is the best life Skylander of the SSA cast, so not seeing him here is a bit of a disappointment, not gonna lie, though I'm glad we don't have someone so annihilative to fight against, because fighting as Camo is great, but fighting against him, not so much. It's like I would have actually preferred a tech, like elemental battle like this one for the boss of Battlefield rather than what we actually got, which was the lamest tank in all of history. Like seriously man, tanks are cool. How does this game make it so tanks aren't cool anymore? Only this game could accomplish such impossible feats like making tanks lame. Die. Thank you. Die. No, not thank you. That's not what death looks like. Unless you're talking about damage inflicted upon me. Because that is what death looks like right now. I am a lot of death. Dun dun dun! Okay, looks like Stealth Wolf is in a need for a little bit of an arse whooping. Boom! Damage. More damage. Stay still so I can hit you some more. Okay, we hit him. We hit him. We're about to hit him some more. And this will finish him off. Told you so! We even kind of elevated ourselves up to prove how victorious and glorious we were. Man, that is the pinnacle of glory, if I ever have seen it.
More evil and unbeatable than ever before.
Oh, is that right? Is it Chaos? Is that right?
My totally unbeatable death.
Totally unbeatable?
Ultimate death.
Wow, that's quite the spell right there. But you know what? I don't think it's totally unbeatable. I think it's totally beatable, more like. I was definitely saying stuff in my commentary, but I lost track of what it was I was saying, so clearly it wasn't important to begin with. Die, you freaking snails, die. I could really be doing with Flameslinger right now, because Flameslinger is so beast in these scenarios, but unfortunately having a Flameslinger is too much to ask for. The random name picker seems to hate Flameslinger as much as it does Undead Skylanders. I'm not even gonna know what the random name is gonna pick next though, because we're not even gonna lose a single Skylander next episode. Calling it right now, it ain't happening. We're gonna get through at least one episode with no challenges failed, and that will be the next one. Mark my words. Mark them! Ow. My over-dramatization is really coming back to bite me in the ass. A bit like how Stealth Elf's ass got absolutely annihilated by his tail strike right here. Anyway, looks like we get to be rolling. They see me rolling. They hate it. Again, this is why I don't sing. I alluded to this previously, and now you get to see it executed in full for the very reason why I don't sing. Because when I sing, people's ears bleed, and that's uncool. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Congratulations for noticing. I kind of called it too. I told you it would be not unbeatable and actually beatable. I think you need to change up the name of that spell there, mate. Mate? Chaos isn't a mate of mine. What am I saying? My brain is truly mashed potatoes right now. No! No, not a minion. Anything but a minion. We'll be fine. This is fine. This is what fine looks like. Stop hitting me. It's so rude. Okay, maybe I'm a little less fine now, let on. Yep. I'm not fine.
I'm not fine. I'm not fine.
Yeah, I let Stephanie Beatrix take over for a couple of frames there. Only a couple of frames, because any more and Disney probably would have slapped you for copyright strike. But Encanto is a fun movie, what can I say? There you go, Disney, there's your free advertisement. Everyone, go buy Disney Plus and watch Encanto. You'll be doing yourself a huge favour. You can come back and thank me after you've dropped everything you're doing and have immediately gone and watched the film. It is genuinely brilliant. I wonder why it's so popular on Disney Plus. It's definitely Disney's like biggest attraction, shall we say, for their streaming service, Disney Plus. Like, so many people are watching that film religiously, and like I say, I couldn't blame them. The film is fucking fantastic. Easily one of the best they've made in recent years. But enough of my hashtag not sponsored by corporate Disney and all that. Enough of all that. Let's focus on the fight. Man, my throat is not my best friend. Neither are these fucking snails right now, apparently. Man, this is tough. Especially when that happens. Ow. I should really stop running into things. Okay, I'm down to 155. Man, this is a troublesome spell. You see, this part is just jank. Like, in the Wii it's fine, but here, you know, the hitboxes for those don't really collide, except for that one single example. And we're down to 115, and we have the blinkiness. I hate the blinkiness. The blinkiness is scary. And this goes on forever as well. Like, literally, this takes forever. And we're down to 75. Oh no, Bash! Bash! No! Oh shit! I can only take one more hit, and I have no projectiles because it's not upgraded because I had to reset him previously. No! Well, yeah, that just happened. I literally just got bested by this game's jankiness. But at the bare minimum, the new Skylanders selected has been none other than Sunburn, so we get to replace Bash with one of his fellow dragons, and we get yet another one of the Forgotten 8 added to Roulette. That makes half of our Roulette consistent of Forgotten 8 characters. Man, this random name picker truly does have a bias, doesn't it? It's against the undead and for the Forgotten 8, which makes it surprising to me that we get to have seen Ghost Racer show up. I mean, he is part of the Forgotten 8, for Pete's sake. In fact, he's probably one of the best of the Forgotten 8. Second only to characters like Cabo and Boomer. Yes, attack! But it sure is a shame, like right when I thought the challenge failures were over this episode, apparently I thought wrong and Bash's death created the most depressing moment in the series thus far. Why did he have to go? He was so young. Okay, we gotta mash ourselves. We gotta shake it off, literally. Bash's death is nothing short of a tragedy, but we can't let that continue to define us. We can't continue to be distracted. That will only doom us further. And the last thing we want to do is also lose Sunburn literal mere seconds after we did Bash. But luckily for us, that's what we have. Annihilation 4! Yeah, Sunburn came in and truly whipped their asses. And I'm glad to have Sunburn in for Roulette now because he got such a short screen time presence in the Soul Seeker series. I believe he deserves redemption. Maybe this will even be titled Sunburn's Redemption. I mean, he did kind of redeem himself. He took on all 3 life minions with ease. But it's a shame because Bash was this close to surviving. But unfortunately, jank hitboxes and low-level Skylanders, they don't really mix. And the most depressing part of it all is that Bash was so fucking close to leveling up. He was so close. If he leveled up, he would have been fine. Because he would have obviously, you know, been restored in his health bar fully. That's what level up kind of does. And yet the game continued to screw me over regardless. The game just hates me, guys. There's no other way of justifying it. Anyway, we're going to skip over the Unnecessary Deep Stew. I suppose that's why the game hates me. I skip over the Unnecessary Deep Stew too often by pressing the best button in the video game right here. Yeah, sure thing there, Flynn. Sure thing. But we do have the tech levels to worry about in the next episode, and hopefully for said tech levels we can finally get through an episode without a single challenge failure. I just want the roulette wheel to be the same in one episode going into another episode. Is that too much to ask? No, I'm kidding, of course it is.
Who's in charge here?
Perfectly good question.
In charge? Why, I'm in charge.
But the only thing, Flynn, here is that you're not. You are not in charge.
I'm looking for a Skylander.
Oh, there he is with his crown and all.
I am General
Oh, that was a good crack.
And we've got a clustercuff of a situation. It seems the trolls are keeping something unknown in a heavily guarded warehouse.
Is that right, is it?
Intel believes that it's some sort of gear.
Man, this is going to be one hell of an edit to whip together. I've had to stop the face cam and restart it and have to resync it back up every single time I lose a challenge. And given how many challenges I failed this episode, that's a lot of times.
You see, the enemy is crafty and has the advantage. Temporarily.
Oh, General Robot, you're fooling no one, mate.
Firepower to evac said gear to a safe location behind our lines to reconnoiter. We need your help, soldier. Can I count on you?
Well, yes, you can, but not at this moment in time, I'm afraid.
Right. Meet me back here after you resupply.
And resupplying is going to take an time up because I won't be back here until the first Friday of September. With that being said and done, this video is coming to an end, and I want to thank you all so much for watching. By merely clicking on this video, you've shown support and helped it garner recognition so it can reach many of the viewers here on YouTube. I'd love to see you take the extra step and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Also be sure to comment below and push that subscribe button whilst you're down there. By clicking elsewhere on screen, you can either check out a video that's specifically picked out for you, or you can check out the rest of the playlist for a series you just watched. Before ending off, I'd like to thank all of my Blazing Knights and Scorching Dragons whose support help make these videos possible. I'll be seeing you in the next video, and until that moment arises, peace!